don't underestimate these resources. They're free and they could really help you. That's an American telephone number. You can tell it's got hyphens, right? These are, and so now I'm going to scare you with the really bad things that can happen to your health, but don't let this fuel your anxiety. This is just like us chilling. We're going to not do this because we're going to express ourselves, but we're just going to talk about and show why it's important. And I wanted to bring this up because they've correlated. There was a couple of scientific studies done. I think there was one done at Harvard about 5 years ago. I looked into them. Now they're valid and it's real. So number one, mental exhaustion. Ignore the adverts. There's going to be loads of them. I can't get rid of them on this website. One, mental exhaustion. Oh, that's a video. That is a video. It's not an advert. It's this guy talking about what we're talking about. Imagine him, but it's me. It is me, right? Suppressing an emotion can involve suppressing the memory of something that's made you feel uncomfortable. However, you cannot actually forget a memory on purpose. So in order to avoid thinking about something you don't want to remember, your mind will work overtime. So you get mentally exhausted if you try and keep these things in that you want to not think about. We talk about distraction, so that's cool, but maybe expressing the things, getting them out in these other ways that we're going to look at how to do in just a minute, maybe expressing them, it kind of wipes that clean. It purges it in a way. It removes the power. The power's locked up inside you when it's in there like a lead weight dragging you down. When you let it out, it doesn't have that weight on you so much anyway. It's hard to explain, and this is the point of expression today, is that it's really hard to explain. That's why expression is so difficult, and why we find so many interesting and varied ways to achieve it, and why when you start, which we will look at in a minute, when you start doing it, it's like going to a well, and at first you think, well, water's all the way down there, and like what is even, but once you start winching up the buckets and you start getting wet, it's a totally different experience. Like you become maybe free flowing. Maybe the well becomes a spring. Yeah, it's really interesting expression. So you get mentally exhausted if you keep it in. Stomach problems. According to research from Harvard, see, told you, stress from unacknowledged emotions, and this is an important terminology, unacknowledged emotions. So things that you feel but you don't sort of say to yourself, oh yeah, absolutely, I'm feeling that. Maybe you say to yourself, no, I'm not feeling that. No, I'm not down. I'm not sad. I'm not scared. But it can lead to digestion, gas, stomach ulcers, stomach problems, like physical problems. Headaches and migraines, again, physical. In response to emotional stress, the muscles in your forehead and brow tighten. Ooh, cross. Stronger negative emotions. And this is where it gets a bit more difficult to explain, but easy to see when it's happening. When someone lets their feelings build up and then they explode and they get angry and rah, and they're really angry about this or really stressed about that, it might be because they're releasing pent-up emotion, says clinical psychologist Victoria Tarrant. Weight gain or loss, we're going to say. Any issues with food and weight, but they say food can be a temporary band-aid for a real problem. But we've looked at mental health and eating disorders, so we know it's not just gain, it's also weight loss. Difficulty experiencing the positive things in life. When you try to experience less sadness and anger, you're limiting the range of emotions you can experience. This includes positive feelings like joy and happiness. You can't have the positive without riding out the negative. That's interesting, isn't it? People say, things look better after you put things in balance. You need the ups to have the downs and the downs to have the ups or whatever. But they're saying here you can't have positive experience without getting through the negative. Fair enough. We want the positive experience if we're feeling down. We need to ride through the negative, and often what they're saying here, riding out the negative, often finding a way to express it or working through things with expression, which we're going to look at in a minute how to. That is our way of riding it out. That's our surfboard on the wave. That's our Wilson. That's our raft, isn't it? So increased cancer risk. That's bad. Everything these days, isn't it? Everything is that. Everything. So But no, absolutely mental health. Shorter lifespan in general. Well, if you're going to have increased cancer risk and you've got difficulty experiencing positive things and strong negative emotions, yeah, absolutely. You can see why that's going to shorten your lifespan. So we don't want to go there. That's the bad place. Inc. magazine, bad place.